1, 2, 3, 4.
Homelessness is on the rise. Is anybody surprised by this? I'm not. You shouldn't be. This is America. We don't fix things anymore. We just put a Band-Aid on top of things. But let's go deeper. Let's start here and see what we can find, because I think we're going to find some interesting stuff here. Let's take a look.
Homelessness in the US grew by 18% in 2024, the highest level ever recorded. But why? We supposedly have this great economy with low unemployment and a growing GDP. But the truth is, only a small number of people are seeing the benefits from that economy.
Yeah, only a small number of people. The billionaires are lobbying Congress and getting tax breaks for themselves. All of the money is going to the 1%. And we're not getting paid livable wages because corporations don't give a shit. They don't care. They want to pay us as low as possible, or just ship jobs overseas to sweat factories in China and pay them pennies on the dollar so they can rake in all the billions, pay zero in taxes, and don't give us any benefits whatsoever. And so this is where we're at. We can't afford anything here because we just don't get paid enough. Wages haven't been keeping up with inflation since 1970. 1970. For God's sakes, the minimum wage is still $7.29. It's ridiculous.
So many people can't pay rent or buy a home because wages for most workers have been stagnating for decades, and they haven't kept up with the cost of housing. 40 to 60% of people without a place to live have jobs, and it's not enough. Since the 70s, inflation adjusted...
That is insane. 40 to 60% of people that don't have a place to live have jobs. They're just getting paid shitty garbage wages. We need to start getting paid livable wages. Pass laws that give us better wages. These politicians are trash.
For most U.S. workers has stayed almost the same, while high earners' pay has skyrocketed. And our economy was designed that way on purpose, through policies intended to keep labor costs low to benefit the rich and corporations.
What did I say? What do I say in all my videos? Policies, the rich lobbying Congress, bribing politicians to keep wages low and ship jobs overseas so we get nothing, and we get pennies on the dollar. And the rich just rake in the cash, raiding the coffers. This is design. This is by design. This is by design. The corporations, the rich and the powerful, have shipped jobs overseas and lobbied Congress to pay us garbage wages. This is the way it is, pure and simple.
When income inequality began to really grow in the 70s and 80s, homelessness did too. It was all made worse by Reagan pulling funding for social programs in the 80s. And instead of fixing the root causes or creating more social safety nets, cities are criminalizing homelessness, which was allowed by the Supreme Court. Homelessness is a symptom of the growing income inequality we have in the US, exacerbated by tax plans that favor the rich, laws that strip rights from workers, cuts to assistance programs, and a for-profit healthcare system.
Yeah, let's just, let's take a look at this. Look, she's saying that we're criminalizing homelessness because, yeah, that works. This is just what I've mentioned, just putting Band-Aids over it. Let's take a look at this, and we'll get into what I mean by putting a Band-Aid over it. Let's look at this. Take a look at this. These are just cops demolishing homeless encampments and throwing them in the garbage can, right? This is putting a Band-Aid over it. You're just moving them from one spot to the next. You're throwing away their shit, throwing away their housing that they have, and they're just going to move to the next street. It's not actually solving anything. Throwing them in prison or moving them to the next block and throwing away their shit isn't solving the problem, because more and more people every year are becoming homeless. That is not a solution. It's the same thing with crime. Crime goes up and we're like, hey, let's just, add more police. Let's just put more police, on the beat. That'll fix the problem. Let's just put more people in prison. We already have more people in prison than any other country in the world. How's that working out? It's not actually solving the underlying issue. By putting more police on the street, it's not solving the issue of crime. We need to look at the economic issues and the mental health issues and put money, give better jobs, pay people more, build community centers, right? Stop shipping jobs overseas, make the economic situation better, bring the cost of living down, and you'll have less crime. The solution is not throwing everyone in prison. We already have more people in prison than any other country in the world. It's not working. The same thing for homelessness. If we just demolish their shit and throw them in a fucking prison, there's still going to be more homeless people every year. That shit is stupid. Look at this. We have people
Why
hanging
are
out.
there people sleeping in the airport at Boston Logan? Look, those are beds and people sleeping in the airport at Boston Logan.
These people don't have a place to stay. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. We need affordable housing. We need to build more housing. We need to address the issues, the underlying issues, the economic issues. Get people jobs and people. They have such a bad stigma. A lot of these homeless people. I bet you half these people want to work. The other half have addiction problems and mental health problems. Okay, so we put money into those issues. Get people the help they need for mental health and drug addiction, and then you have less people on the street. It's not like, let's just round these people up and throw them in prison. Okay, what about next year when 1,000 more vets are living on the street? What do we do then? Just throw them into prison, and just every year we just keep throwing more and more people into prison? It's insane. It makes no fucking sense. We need to get these people help, get them housing that they need. I mean, look at this. You got garbage corporations that don't give a shit about us buying up all our homes and then sitting on them and reselling them years later for insanely high prices, or renting them out at insanely high rates. Look at this. BlackRock and private equity firm housing scam exposed. This is just another example of the rich and powerful and corporations screwing us over and making us fight each other while they literally buy up all our homes without us looking. They are buying up entire new housing developments, sometimes 500 units. They'll buy the houses at $300K per home. They won't sell it right away. They'll keep the area looking like a construction zone for a year. Let's say there are 3 different models of homes in the community they bought. Then a year later, they'll sell 3 of those houses that they bought for $300,000 to themselves in another fund for $700,000. That creates 3 comps in the neighborhood. They do one of each of the models, and now the entire neighborhood, each house is valued at $700,000. Look at that. These houses could be sold for $300,000, but now they're being sold because they're scam, they're being sold for $700,000. These houses are being bought up by private equity firms, these disgusting banks and corporations, buying up our homes, destroying the American dream for us because they're greed. These are the same corporations lobbying Congress to get tax breaks for themselves, to ship jobs overseas. They're polluting our rivers. They're paying us slave wages, right? They're causing corruption in our government by bribing our politicians. They're supporting propaganda online so that we fight each other while they are buying up all our houses and destroying the country. These are the real enemy. It's not each other. It's not even the government. It's the rich and powerful and corporations. More. Private home ownership is at extreme risk in America. A new report shows economists have been lying to us, all of us, about the rate financial firms have been buying up single-family homes. They said it was only 18 to 23%. That's still insane that we're letting, corporations and private equity firms buy up houses at 18 to 23%. But that's a lie. Homes were being purchased. So they were saying 18 to 23% of homes were being purchased, and by 2030 they would own 60% of the homes. 60% of the homes. That was a lie. In 2023, private equity firms purchased 44% of all the single-family homes in America, which means death for our middle class. Estimates for 2024, private equity firms are again predicted to purchase another 44% of family homes. Now America has a lot of problems, but this should be a unifying problem that every single person who is not part of those private equity firms should care about. We should be fighting these. We should be protesting. Where are the protests? Where are the protests? You know where it is? There are none, because we're too busy fighting ourselves, and they're literally buying up all our homes underneath our nose without us knowing, because we're too busy talking about stupid shit and fighting each other over dumb shit about trans athletes. When the real problem is all our homes are being bought, all our jobs are being shipped overseas, all our politicians are being bribed, all of the rich are getting tax breaks, they're raiding the coffers, and we're talking about trans athletes when we're losing all our fucking homes. This is so dumb. This is stupid. Private equity firms have been buying up all the single family homes. So up until recently, we didn't actually have the numbers to say just how many homes they've been buying. But now the data is in. We know what they're doing. We know what they're doing. This is a disgrace. Now look at the rent. My biggest problem is rent. The increase. I need it to change. I only get $1,600 per month. So this lady's on Social Security, $1,630 a month, and her rent is $15. So 90% of her check goes to rent. And this is what we're seeing. This is what we're seeing for seniors, right? The average rent for a one-bedroom in the United States hit over $1,700. Some states like California, the average rent for a one-bedroom is $2,000. How can anyone support this? Right? Look at this. In the year 2000, the average rent was $600. All of a sudden, it started jumping 6 to 8% per year over year. 6 to 8% it started jumping from 2000, where the average rent was $600. Now it's $1,650. It's actually, I've seen estimates of it being higher, around $1,750. In California, one bedroom is $2,100. Apartment.com says that the average rent in the United States is $1,700. This is insane. This is insane. Like, this is out of control, the rent. So what we are doing is we are putting Band-Aids on everything. For homelessness, we're just destroying these encampments, and we're just kicking them down the street where they build new encampments. If we incarcerate them, which is inhumane in my opinion, what about every single year, all of these people that are becoming homeless for no fault of their own, because corporations are garbage and shipping jobs overseas and not paying us? How is it their fault? And we're just going to imprison them? But 60% of homeless people are vets. We're just going to incarcerate all our vets. We're just going to destroy their encampments. How about we give them homes? How about we treat their mental health issues? How about we give them good paying jobs and wages and fix our economy? How about we build affordable housing and don't let private equity steal all our homes and then rent it back to us for insane prices? Why don't we do that instead of just throwing everybody in fucking prison and destroying their encampments? Because they're just going to move down the street. Right? The same thing for crime. Why don't we just not make our police into militarized combat units and just have police walking the street everywhere? How about we actually fix the heart of the issue, which is the economics? How about we stop letting billionaires steal all our fucking money and all our fucking homes and give people good paying jobs? And maybe there won't be crime. Other countries have done it without increasing police like a fucking police state. All across Europe and China and Japan, they've done it. They have extremely low crime rates in Japan. How did they do it? They didn't lock up their whole fucking population. I mean, this is just insane. We don't think as Americans anymore. We don't build. We just put Band-Aids over shit. Oh, we've got homelessness issues. Just throw them in prison. Meanwhile, they're vets. These are families with kids that got kicked out of their homes because they couldn't pay their insanely high rent because BlackRock is buying all their fucking homes. I mean, this is just insane. What do you guys think in the comments? Let me know. Like, subscribe, hook a brother up. If you like my videos, I work really hard on bringing you guys this information. I'm trying to educate people. I'm trying to show you that the fight is not with each other. It's against the rich. That is the fight. Wake up. Wakey, wakey. You guys are asleep. These guys are buying up all our homes. Like, subscribe, hook me up. I work so hard on bringing you guys this information. I'm trying to wake up the Americans. The fight is not against each other. We're too busy talking about stupid shit, fighting each other about dumb cultural issues when the fight is a class war issue. It's us versus the rich. That is the issue, period. Hands down and sip. They are buying up all our homes. They are shipping jobs overseas. They are polluting our rivers. They are bribing our politicians. They are paying us low wages. Right? What else do we need? Who is the problem here? Let me know in the comments. Thanks. I really appreciate you guys.